Hello, I'm Nicole Thompson with Hitachi Vantara, and I'll be speaking to you today about the world's biggest commercial electric vehicle trial, Optimize Prime, which many of you may already be familiar with since several of our partners participated at Solar and Storage Live last year in Birmingham. But for those of you who didn't attend, I'll share a brief overview about the program, and for those of you who did, I'll also provide an update highlighting some of our team's key achievements to date. Following this presentation, everyone will have the opportunity to ask questions to our partner panel, which includes Dr. Sung Pilloy from UK Power Networks, Ben Kinrod from Hitachi Europe Social Innovation Business Group, Stuart Fowler from Centrica Business Solutions, and James Rooney from Centrica's British Gas Fleet. Before we begin, I'd like to thank the organizers for inviting us back, and we hope everyone enjoys our session. Optimize Prime is the world's largest trial of commercial electric vehicles, studying their impacts on the electricity grid and developing new solutions to help businesses accelerate their transition to EVs. The project is part funded by Ofgem's Network Innovation Competition and is delivered together by Hitachi and distribution network operators UK Power Networks and Scottish and Southern Electricity Networks, along with 3 fleet partners including Centrica, Royal Mail, and Uber. The project will be collecting and analyzing data on 3 types of fleets: those that charge vehicles in depots like Royal Mail, those that charge at home like Centrica's British Gas Fleet, and vehicles that use public charging or combination of both public and home charging like Uber. The project's ultimate aims are to reduce carbon dioxide emissions while reducing the cost of the EV transition for Great Britain's electricity customers. To provide you with a little bit of history, the consortium was formed in 2017 and was awarded project funding by Ofgem in 2018 and started delivery in January 2019. The project was intended to complete in 2022, but due to challenges with vehicle availability and the impacts of COVID-19, which exacerbated this by the shutting down of vehicle manufacturers, as well as not being able to go to people's homes to install chargers, the project is now expecting to continue until early 2023. The key questions the project is seeking to answer is 1, how do we quantify and minimize the network impact of commercial EVs? 2, what is the value proposition for smart solutions for fleets? And then 3, what infrastructure is needed to enable the EV transition at scale? To answer these questions and achieve the aims of the project, we need to take a whole system view by creating a new collaborative ecosystem where we're bringing together organizations from across the value chain that might not usually work together or may in some ways even be competitors. Through collective problem solving and the sharing of data, we're able to gain that end-to-end view to identify the potential blockers and opportunities for the transition to electric vehicles. When large-scale fleet operators make a decision to switch from petrol or diesel to electric, the impact will be instant to the network operator, especially with fleets like Royal Mail, who charge multiple vehicles in single depots. These depot-based fleets present potentially significant issues to the energy networks. These challenges are amplified by customers taking a risk-averse approach and overspecifying connection requirements and not utilizing electricity network capacity efficiently. The planning for sites tends to be done on a worst-case scenario. While deploying a large number of chargers on a single site could result in prohibitive cost connections, in some cases the cost to electrify the site could be higher than the cost of the vehicles, making the transition commercially unviable. The transition to electric also adds far more complexity to the role of the fleet operator. Royal Mail is the largest fleet in the UK with around 46,000 vehicles across 1,700 sites, where the network capacity varies across all the sites, making the depot design and modeling very complex. We're also developing depot optimization tools that will allow us to optimize EV charging in order to maintain that connection profile and reduce costs for the depot operator while ensuring vehicles are charged when they're needed. As you can see from the image on the left, without optimizing the fleet's charging, depots may face significant costs for network reinforcement or need to limit their electrification plans. You also see how the network capacity reserved for the depot isn't being fully utilized throughout the day, nor are the charging times aligned with electricity tariffs. The image on the right shows how charging is replanned using the depot planning tool to meet fleet requirements at the lowest cost. The new profiled connection is based on modeled demand. The system ensures the site complies with the profiled connection and replans to account for changes in tariffs, vehicle use, or flexibility requests. The clustering of EVs in residential areas has the potential to create localized network challenges, and potentially compounding this, home-based fleets are likely to have larger impacts on the networks when compared to EVs for private use. This is due to the high utilization and mileage of commercial vehicles, resulting in EVs being charged more frequently and for longer periods of time, as well as a potential lack of incentive for drivers to charge at off-peak times if their employer is paying for the electricity. Potential problems for the networks with fleets that charge at home include no visibility of commercial charging on domestic connections. Network costs are socialized for domestic connections, so if it becomes too cost prohibitive for businesses to charge at depots, then what would the impact be to everyone's electricity bill? And for the fleet operators, complex processes are required for employees to claim back charging costs. And also, residential tariffs are more expensive than business tariffs. Throughout the home charge trial, the project will monitor charging of home-based commercial EVs to help understand the extent of the issues faced by the network. We're also going to trial demand response to alter charging patterns when the grid is stressed and look at technical and economic solutions to make it easier to split commercial and residential power usage. Some fleets, like Uber's private hire vehicles, don't have a defined operating mode. They may charge at homes, charging hubs, or at roadside chargers throughout the city. Demand for these services is growing, yet the potential network impact isn't fully understood. And these vehicles will electrify faster than cars driven for private use due to the increased amounts of regulatory pressure. In London, all new private hire vehicles must be zero emissions capable, accelerating the EV growth in this area. The challenge for network operators is no visibility of the demand for this fast-growing industry, and for the private hire vehicle operators, it's around the availability of charging infrastructure and lack of understanding for their drivers' charging behavior. Throughout this trial, the project will collect anonymized journey data from Uber's EVs across the Greater London area. Combine this with grid data to generate heat maps of charging demand and network capacity. Then analyze this data to estimate future charging demand for private hire EVs and identify potential locations for future infrastructure. By working with a collaborative ecosystem across the value chain, we're able to demonstrate greater benefits for all at a system level than the sum of the savings at the individual level. If the optimized prime methods and solutions are successful and deployed throughout Great Britain, the anticipated benefits include a savings of £207 million for electricity customers, a reduction in CO2 emissions of 2.7 million tons, and the freeing up of enough capacity on the network to supply over 1 million homes with electricity by 2030. 1 year on, where are we today? Well, let me tell you about some of our team's achievements to date. For starters, developing the design and objectives of the trials, and creating the high-level design of the IT solutions, and implementing an IoT platform to capture data from our partners and a number of external sources, providing a secure platform for data analysis. And by the way, that's meeting the security requirements for 8 different organizations. And specifying and implementing charge point control systems across 7 operational Royal Mail depots in and around London, and analyzing data on over 1,000 EVs, including 5 million trips cross-referenced with 9,000 chargers and 400,000 road sections and 4 electricity distribution networks, with another 1,000 commercial EVs on order and more expected to come. Since we formed the consortium in 2017, it's been a long and exciting and definitely challenging journey. And we still have a long way to go. Thank you for joining our session today. We hope you enjoy it.